What's up, you guys? Welcome to V.S.O.P Sports Radio, where we only drink the finest of V.S.O.P cognac. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about the Colorado Buffaloes halfway through the season, 6 games in. But before we get into that, if you guys can do me a favor, hit that like and that subscribe button, because my theory is if you enjoy the vibe, why not like and subscribe? Now, let's get into it. The Colorado Buffaloes through 6 games are 4-2. With every matchup that they have been in being a dogfight. As you can see, the games that they've played so far, week 1 was Colorado versus TCU. I don't know if you could see it on your screens right there, but it went down to the wire 45-42. The next week they played Nebraska. Now, the score is 36-14, but that first half was quite the fight. It wasn't until the second half where Colorado really distanced themselves from Nebraska. But then the following week they had Colorado State, where they won 43-35 in overtime, and then they played against Oregon and pretty much got beat down, ran out the building 42-6, and pretty much the game was 42-0, and they scored that last six in the last like couple minutes. The following week they're getting beat up by USC, and then miraculously USC started to cool off and gave Colorado an opportunity to get back in the game. Now, obviously due to some late game poor play calling, Colorado ran out of time and they weren't able to continue their comeback. But something was happening with USC, because the following week, which was this week, USC really struggled against Arizona. So as they tapered off in the Colorado game, that same poor momentum kind of followed them the following week. So they were able to pull it off, but I digress. This week, Colorado played Arizona State. Now, Arizona State was only 1-4 on the season, yet they gave Colorado quite the battle. They started the game off punching Colorado in the mouth, scoring on the opening drive, and Colorado pretty much trailed the entire game. In the third quarter, they were down 3 going into halftime. In the third quarter, no one scored. So they go into the fourth quarter 17-14. Now, luckily, Colorado were able to outscore Arizona State, and they were able to get the win done. But throughout this entire process, there's been a lot of hate towards Colorado. And I want to say it all started the week after they beat Nebraska. There came a whole lot of people that were starting to hate, and I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the people. I don't know why they're hating on Coach Prime, but it seems like they're really gearing towards Shedeur and the watch celebration. Because obviously, Shedeur, nice watch, people get a little envious, people, who flaunt money, and it's always seen as being in poor taste when someone is flashing money in the faces of others, right? So Colorado goes into the next game. They beat Colorado State. A lot of people were hoping Colorado State beat Colorado, especially with the comments about taking my hat and my glasses off, and all that good stuff. So when Colorado got beat down by Oregon and USC, a lot of the Dion haters were rejoicing. And so I looked at the game where they played Arizona State University, and I'm glad they pulled the victory off. But I was looking like, man, every game they've been in has been either a dogfight or they got beat up. And so a lot of people in the comments, and I'm basing this off of the comments that I've been reading. A lot of people are really starting to become distasteful of Shedeur Sanders. After the Arizona State game, he runs over to the Arizona State student section, and then he does the watch celebration, holding up his watch to all the fans. And a lot of people were saying this kid needs to be humble. He needs to be humble before somebody humbles him. And so it looks like part of the hate towards Colorado is really starting to stem from a lot of the what a lot of the fans feel about Shedeur in general. But if you look, and I looked at it too, I said, you know what, maybe Shedeur should chill out a little bit. Just, just not necessarily be humble, because there's nothing humbling about being a son of Deion Sanders. I mean, your dad was the ultimate guy. Like when it comes to him, that's your dad. And you grow up with that confidence. And so I said to myself, man, let's take a look at Shedeur Sanders stats. When I did a deep dive, it was very interesting. So as you guys can see on the monitor, when it comes to 6 weeks of college football, Shedeur Sanders leads college football with 2,020 yards. He is the only quarterback with over 2,000 yards, and this is according to ESPN's all conferences players passing stats 2023. So through 6 games, which the Colorado Buffaloes are 4-2, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. To start 4-2 after only winning 1 game last season, and your 2 losses are Oregon and USC, that's pretty impressive. But if you take a look at Shedeur Sanders' numbers, 2,000 yards, 72% pass completion. I mean, that is impressive when you think about everything that's going on this season. And when you think about the, where the confidence comes from, because here's the kicker. Shedeur Sanders has been sacked more than any other quarterback. And you can't see these numbers on the monitor, but Shedeur Sanders has been sacked 30 times through 6 games. The next quarterback who's been sacked the most in college football is at 26, which is the quarterback out of University of Southern Florida, and then the quarterback in Hawaii who's been sacked 25 times. And so I bring that up to say this dude is leading college football in passing yards while also being sacked the most in college football. So for you to lead the league in passing with the worst offensive line says a lot about your skill set. And so I'm hoping that Shedeur can just go out there and let his play do the talking, because he has every right to be confident. I mean, the way he's playing, despite the challenges of the offensive line, to me are pretty impressive. But I also don't want Shedeur to be the one putting the target on his team's back, because Deion made an interesting comment. He said, "People aren't trying to beat my team; they're trying to beat me." Well, if Shedeur continues this, people are gonna try to beat Shedeur because they want to shut up the watch celebration and all that stuff like that. So Shedeur, you've got talent, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep playing to the best of your ability. My only advice to you would be, not to flaunt the watch at the other team and the other team students. Like, if you want to do that after a win in the press conference, okay, that's one thing. But to do that to the other team, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all, friendly competition and stuff like that. But again, you don't want, these folks to really start coming after the team, because then it takes away the beauty of you guys just going out and having a good time. Like, for instance, with this game, nobody really, like, with the way they lost the last 2 games, nobody was really paying attention to them. Like, they weren't even on national TV this week. They played on the Pac-12 network, so it was a quiet game, not a lot of hype going into this game. And so that's the thing, when they were at Jackson State, they won. They were like 12-1, and no one knew it. So you want to just fly under the radar and then really surprise people once, like, college football, the playoffs start, stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs this year, but that's when like, once you become national spotlight for winning, then do your thing. So, but anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think in the chat. Should Shedeur dial it back, or should he keep, doing the watch celebration. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Like I said, I saw what a lot of people thought, and so that's why I wanted to go ahead and tackle this topic, because I want to see Colorado succeed. I'm a big Deion Sanders fan. Remember growing up wanting his shoes so bad, and I'm glad to be in a position where now, when his shoes are released, I'm going to get those. I'm going to redeem my childhood. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. Shedeur, keep balling out there. Keep these numbers going. Keep leading your team. But also remember, to good sportsmanship, because people hate when for some reason people hate when people aren't good sportsmen. So anyway, that's it from me, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you made it to this part of the video, you are the MVP, and thank you for joining me. If you enjoy the vibe, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time here on VSOP Sports Radio. Peace.